Hello, I'm Scott Williams. I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about why I'm running for Brown County Board. I will be on the ballot April 5th for County Supervisor in District 23 here in the village of Howard. District 23 includes basically the entire east side of Howard. Our last county supervisor vacated the seat when he switched to the state assembly in Madison. So this is a wide open race and a great opportunity for Howard residents to choose new leadership and bring some badly needed new blood to Brown County government. It is important that we have strong nonpartisan representation at the county. The county spends more than $250 million a year. To put that into perspective, the village of Howard spends only $16 million a year. It takes twice that much just to run the county sheriff's department. Then you have all those county highways, county parks, county facilities like the zoo and the landfill. It adds up fast. And we need to be sure we have strong, experienced leaders representing us with the ability to recognize waste and the courage to speak up. Our current county supervisors this year took the easy way out. They raised property taxes by more than $2 million. $2 million, that's a lot of money. We now pay $80 million every year in property taxes for county government. I'm not sure as your representative that I could have pushed the button to vote yes, as our current county supervisor did, to raise taxes another $2 million. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I live on Clearbrook Circle. That's just south of Lineville Road and east of Cardinal Lane, a couple of blocks behind the Piggly Wiggly. We bought a house here 6 years ago. My wife and I have 2 children, both boys, both graduates of Bayport High School. We love the neighborhood and the community very much. I've been an active member of the community. I've gotten to know folks at the Village Hall, and I've worked with them on some important community issues. But until now, I've never been involved in politics in any way. Except for this campaign the past few months, you won't find my name on any petition, any special interest group, or any political party. And there's a good reason for that. Until recently, my day job prohibited it. I worked at the newspaper, the Green Bay Press-Gazette. I was a reporter covering local news in Brown County. I covered a lot of local government, police news, business news, and yes, some politics. I was even in the press box at Lambeau Field one night a few years ago when the Packers were in the playoffs. As a member of the news media, I was always a professional of the highest integrity and ethical standards. I know, a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people have a low opinion of the news media. I understand. I get it. I don't even entirely disagree with the critics when I hear how other people in the media conduct themselves these days, especially on talk radio. But I won't try to argue that issue right now. I will simply tell you that I always took steps to make sure that readers of the Green Bay Press-Gazette never had any reason to question whether I was reporting the news in a straightforward and unbiased way. That meant limiting my involvement on any issues or causes outside the newspaper, especially politics. I worked hard to maintain my credibility as a fair and honest reporter, and I think I did a pretty good job. Unfortunately, my days at the Green Bay Press-Gazette ended last February, just about a year ago. It wasn't anything I wanted to happen, but it also wasn't anything I could control. I got laid off. The corporate owners of the newspaper had their minds made up to cut costs, and they eliminated jobs for a lot of good people. It was a painful experience for me, and it has been made even more difficult seeing the newspaper's quality deteriorate more and more almost every day, leaving the community without that strong, independent media watchdog. But when I picked myself up and I dusted myself off, I looked around and I saw an opportunity to serve the community in a new way. When I heard that our county board representative was going to Madison and that Howard needed a new county supervisor, I knew I had to step forward. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that I have exactly the skills and the qualities that Howard needs in a county supervisor. I've been an observer of local government for more than 30 years. I know the process, the protocols, and the pitfalls. I have seen where there is waste and where there is need. I understand what works and what doesn't work. I have seen the best and the worst of government. I would venture to guess that as a newspaper reporter, I have sat through more meetings of county boards, city councils, school boards, you name it, than just about anyone in local government today. I think government would benefit from having a former newspaper reporter involved. Think about it. I am trained to be an objective observer who studies a situation, gathers all the facts, seeks out opposing viewpoints, and allows multiple opinions to be heard. I scrutinize the most complex political debates with a perspective that is impartial, dispassionate, and devoid of any partisan agenda. That's what a reporter does. And doesn't that sound exactly like what we need these days in our government representatives? Objectivity, impartiality, and nonpartisanship. The only difference is, as a reporter, once I fully investigated an issue, I would sit down and write an article that explains it to people. As a county supervisor, I will sit down and cast my vote. After weighing all the evidence and hearing opposing sides, I will take action without bias or prejudice to solve problems, address needs, and move this county forward in a positive way. On that, you have my word. But there is still more that I have to offer as a candidate for county supervisor. I like to call it the watchdog factor. As you probably know, the best newspaper reporters are not the ones who simply recite facts. They're not the ones who just tell you what other people are saying, like a sponge soaking up information and then spitting it back out. The best reporters are watchdogs. They understand the news, and they've been around long enough to know how to ask tough questions, how to demand answers, and how to call attention to problems. At the Press-Gazette, I was a watchdog reporter. A lot of government officials and bureaucrats around here weren't too crazy about me because I asked questions and I wouldn't quit until I got the answers. I'm still a watchdog. It's in my blood. Down at the county board, I'm not sure there is a watchdog right now. I don't see a lot of county supervisors who are willing to ask hard questions or challenge the status quo or suggest that there could be better ways to serve the public. Why do we need to raise property taxes another $2 million? That would have been a good question, wouldn't it? Instead, I see a lot of career politicians caucusing with their cronies, hiding tough issues behind closed doors, or working to score points with some partisan group or some talk radio audience. No real watchdogs working to uphold the county's honesty and integrity. In the newspaper business, a watchdog article is usually one that probes beneath the surface of an issue and finds the root cause of a problem and then shouts it from the rooftops. Hey, look over here. We found a problem that needs to be addressed. County government needs elected leaders who do the same thing. Probe beneath the surface, and when you see a chance to improve how government works, shout it from the rooftops. That's what I do. In fact, that's what I did just a few weeks ago on a current issue in the county. You probably don't know anything about this. We may have a nasty scandal on our hands in the county's Public Works Department. A woman who worked for the county for many years says the Public Works Department has been mismanaging funds and lying about it for years. Things like plowing snow for private property owners instead of the general public, falsifying time cards, billing the state for work that was never done. Pretty bad stuff, if it's true. The county's been in crisis mode on this for months. Some of the top officials in the Public Works Department no longer have their jobs. So why doesn't the public know more about this? Why don't we know how much money was involved? Good questions. Very good questions. Now you're starting to think like a watchdog. Well, I was at a county board meeting where this whole affair was discussed on December 16th. Only one problem. It was discussed behind closed doors. The county board voted to shut the public out completely and manage everything in secret. Tell the people nothing about what's happening. Is this why the county had to raise taxes by $2 million? Because of expenses related to this mess? I don't know. So I did what our elected representatives would not do. I sent the county executive and the county board chairman a letter as a candidate for supervisor in District 23, demanding that they tell the public what is going on in public works and how much money is involved and what the county is doing about it. That's leadership. That's what I want to do as your next county supervisor. Be a leader who has the courage to stand up, ask the tough questions, and don't back down until we get answers. I want to be the people's watchdog. I want to be the county supervisor who opens a window and lets some fresh air into local government, who pulls back the curtains and shines a light on how things work, so that everybody has an opportunity to understand, to be engaged, and to help chart the county's course to a brighter future. I want to make Howard not just another community that goes along with the crowd, but a community whose courageous new leader works to challenge stale old traditions and lead the whole county by showing that we can do it better. I want to be the people's watchdog, and with your help on April 5th, I will be ready to go to work. Thank you.